Well, no, it'd be up.
That's okay. I'll figure it out.
But we're going to do good this time.
We're going to do good this time. And last episode was heavy. We're not going to do heavy this time. So, again, if we pull out a heavy one, we're going to put it back and pull out a different one.
Okay, but because you're going to edit all this out, we're going to try to pause so you have a moment, right? Here we go. I'm sorry, I can't do this. Okay, welcome back to Unscripted.
Yes.
Okay.
So why we call it Unscripted, right?
Amen. So, into the picture of unnamed
I'm
things.
supposed to hold it.
Oh,
If
sorry.
I'm supposed to hold it up here so you can't see.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I can read on the outside.
Well, close your eyes.
All right, let's see. Well, I'll close my eyes, but I can't find the bucket. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have to look at this first.
Okay, all right. We'll let it this time.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll go with that one.
Here we go. Book recommendations. Okay. Encyclopedia. No.
Do they even make those anymore?
Well, yeah, you Google it.
It's called the Online Encyclopedia.
All right, so Pete, you start. I pulled it. I have to do book recommendations.
You have to start. I'll make some too.
Book recommendations. Okay. Wow. I'm thinking. Do you see the smoke coming off of my head? Do you have any? Go. Why I'm thinking.
I do have
go.
some. So the first book I'd like to recommend is one that absolutely changed my life, and it was written by a man named Bob Goff. And the book is
I remember you talking about this.
Everybody Always. It changed the way I look at people and forgiveness. When we hold things inside, it turns us bitter, doesn't it?
Yes. Yes.
And the longer we hold it, the worse it gets. We become toxic to those around us without even realizing it. Our attitude sucks. And
yeah, we think if we're quiet, it'll go away. No, it won't. The more we hold it, the more we fester.
Right. And that book, to the extreme, is on forgiving everyone. Now, and I say this, forgiveness does not equal forgetfulness. You don't have to forget what happened. It's more for you to forgive that person and just let it go. You don't ever have to communicate with that person again.
It releases you, which is a strange thing about that.
It does.
Okay.
So, great book. Everybody Always, Bob Goff. You should check that one out. Do you have one yet?
No. Actually, I've read it's hard. I can push the idea. I like to read a lot of biographies about people's lives, and just my mention that one came to mind that I'll come back to. But reading, a decent biography, of someone's life, how they dealt with things, has been inspiring to me. And the one that came to mind as soon as I said that is I read a biography on Mother Teresa. Okay, and the thing there. Again, not going down the religious path of just how she accepted people.
Right.
She met people where they were, and back to that idea of just helping. Okay, I just helped. I did what I could do to make a difference there. I read a book of Martin Luther King, same type of thing. Of just how many times are our thoughts so far out of whack that we have a perception of what is going on, and we haven't really thought about it. We haven't really questioned our view or our perspective, I should say.
Yeah, and I think right now at this point that we're at with this country, it just seems like everybody is at everybody's throat, and everybody just jumps to quick judgments. And I shouldn't say everybody. That's not accurate.
I think, and again, we're kind of touching on areas. We're not trying to get political on this or that. Book recommendations. I think mine's just the biographies. I've read books on JFK, on General Patton, on Andrew Jackson and stuff, and each one of them I got something different from. And it was, some of them were like, oh wow, I don't want to do that, and some of them were just perspectives. JFK wrote, I think it's Perspectives on Courage, I think it was the name of the book, and just different points in history. He talked about being people who were courageous in that mindset of, I'm going to do the right thing, and it's not going to turn out well for me. And that's a different level of integrity that's played out there. So, so for me, a lot of them are this idea of how do you build character in yourself. Those are the books that I end up reading. And, I've read tons of management books, things along those lines. And Patrick, you might remember his last name.
Lencioni.
Yes, he has some excellent books. I think the reason I like them is they're kind of written as stories.
They are.
I mean, kind of the simple mind. I can understand that versus a whole bunch of psychological stuff.
Yeah, probably. Speaking of Patrick Lencioni, he's got a book, and I don't even recall what the title of it is off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But he talks about when you're hiring people that are hungry, humble, and smart.
Yeah.
And it's just such a great read.
At the end of the day, the best thing I could say is just read. We are driven right now in so much, give it to me in 30 seconds. Give it to me in 30 seconds. Or give me a 30-second blast. We're trying to keep these short, which I understand. But at the same time, read.
Right.
Go read some genre. I don't care if you're reading science fiction books. There is something to be gained if it's just simple relaxation, but read.
Well, and if you're looking for really quick, short blurbs, just a quick shout out. I read a book called Attitude is a Choice by Sam Glenn.
Yes.
Who is a fantastic speaker also, by the way. But that's a quick read. You could read bits and pieces of that, take things from it, put a bookmark in, put it down, come back to it later, that kind of book. But it's really great. So.
Yeah. I have books of just quotes. I'm a big one on quotes.
Awesome. I love quotes.
I have so many books on it's just quotes on this, day-to-day quotes or whatever, and it's amazing how much they inspire you, or amazing how many times they raise your eyebrow of, I don't even understand what you're trying to tell me here, but quotes have been part of my thing over the year. I mean, for the longest time, I used to do this thing, a thought of the day, that I sent out to a lot of people. Some people liked it, some people didn't, I'm sure. Let's not be bold to assume everybody liked it. But again, it was just a simple idea of trying to share thought. But even in that, you're reading short little quotes over and over again, it gets inside you and gets you to look at life differently.
It does. And if you can take a little bit of time every day just to do that and just find a couple quotes. Do it in the morning, before you go to work. It changes your attitude and your viewpoint for the day. So,
yes.
Do you want a Pete original quote?
Sure. Go for it.
So I dreamt this up the other day, and we started doing quotes of the week at work, putting them on the whiteboard for the team. So this was the quote for this week, and this is a Pete original, and that is, your focus is your future. Yep. What you spend your time thinking about is what becomes your reality.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
If you think about negative things, and you're worried about things all the time, you know what? You're just going to get more of it.
Agreed.
If you focus on positive things and find the positive in every situation, and I know there are some really difficult situations, but you know what? There is a positive there somewhere. If nothing else, you're alive.
Yes.
There is always something there.
Yep.
So
well, since you gave an original.
Positive, you think about the positive.
Yep.
You get positive outcomes.
Do I get to give an original?
Yes, please.
Okay, so one that, second time I've mentioned this now, Rick Miller's 10 Rules of Life. The one that I had on there for a long time was this idea of temporary will become permanent. And it came into play when I was a very technical person as far as you're running cable or something and you do it quick just to get it done, and we'll go back and fix that.
Right.
It never happens. Right. Never happens. So I kind of teach that. I was teaching it to my staff as a leader and teaching it to just myself. If I'm going to do something, take the extra 10 seconds, 10 minutes to run everything right. Otherwise, temporary will become permanent.
My quick example of that before we wrap up is my garage. I still can't park my car in it. I've lived in my house for 3 years, and there are still boxes in the garage.
Well, it's time to just back a truck up and get rid of.
Yeah, it is.
But, all right.
Well, once again, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. Tell everyone you can about the channel. Also, check out One Unscripted.
Yes.
Other than that, thank you. Have a great day.
See you later. Bye. All right.